Hello everyone, Namaste and Ahoy. Welcome back to my channel. This is Arsh this side. So I'll be shooting the fourth consecutive video of Economics ASAP series, and the topic of today's series, as you must have guessed again, is Introduction to Public Policy. In abbreviation I call it PP. The reason I'm making this video because this discipline has been quite in demand and its relevance has been increasing in developing countries recently. I mean, this discipline has been taught and implemented and applied in the Western Hemisphere in the developed countries. But recently, developing countries such as India are also opening institutions of public policy, as well as the think tanks and the government is uh, using public policy theoretical and methodological instruments to serve the population and communities better. So I will be introducing very briefly about this topic in this video. The public policy as a discipline, it started to develop in the second half of 20th century, right? And the reason why it started because politicians, the more responsible politicians and community, wanted to understand the nature of conflicts arising in the societies, and the conflicts usually arise because of the clash between public and private interests, right? So constructing a road which runs through agricultural land is obviously in public interest, but there are private interests such as the farmer's interest, who doesn't want to sell his land to make public roads, right? So these conflicts usually arises into critical situations, right? So in order to solve these conflicts arising in communities, public policy as a discipline was started. It is usually said that public policy as a discipline is a cut through public administration, right? So there is still a subject masters in public administration, which is offered at many universities. In technocratic way, public policy can be seen in two distinct branches. The first one being scientific, and the second one being public policy as a social practice. Now, these two have again different aspects in terms of its specifications and characteristics, but again the objective is same: solving social conflicts, solving social problems, solving social issues in communities. Now, public policy is a quite transdisciplinary subject because even though public policy has its own theoretical foundations and methodological instruments, public policy uses various disciplines in social sciences such as philosophy, sociology, economics, political science, management theory, right? And the reason this subject is more interesting because anyone from the field of any field can actually enter into this discipline and apply it and implement it using their own background knowledge. So I have seen myself that a lot of engineers, a lot of lawyers who are working professionals, they pursue masters in public policy at a later stage because they see that they are learning something new, that how can they apply their specialized knowledge to solve public policy issues. Now, what do you think? Like, should you study public policy or not? Is public policy a right fit for you or not? So if you're interested in questions like, is it reasonable to introduce mandatory vaccination of children against communicable diseases? Or if you're interested about questions, are we better off building more kindergartens or supporting industrial innovation? Should we build a nuclear power plant or not? Should we construct a road through agricultural land or not? So if these questions interest you, these questions intrigue you, these questions disturb you, then I think you should take a shallow dive into public policy and try to understand how public policy can help you answering these questions. Now, the person who introduced me to this subject and he actually made me keen about this subject is Mr. Martin Potticek. Now, he is a professor at Charles University and he is the author of book Public Policy: A Comprehensive Introduction. So, in this book, he actually gives a very comprehensive and simplistic view about public policy, and it covers topics such as political ideology, governance, how political ideology shapes policies, uh, who are the actors and institutions in public policy, what are the public policy instruments, what is the public policy process. And the book is quite theoretical in nature, so it is very easy to understand. And the language is also quite easy to digest. Now, what about India? As I have said, many working professionals in India are going abroad to study this Masters in Public Policy course, and instead of Masters in Business Administration course, because MBA has been quite demanded course abroad and in India, but now more and more working professionals are going to pursue Masters in Public Policy because they realize that its importance is also increasing. So, from my experience and from my research, I have seen that the two universities which are quite reasonable and quite well known for its program in Masters in Public Policy are Azim Premji University and Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Hyderabad. Right. So Azim Premji University is based in Bengaluru, and apart from these two universities, there are also many private universities which offer the courses in Masters in Public Policy, like OP Jindal University or Cordelia School of Public Policy. I hope you liked the video. I hope you got a brief introduction about public policy, and if you are more keen to understand this subject, I would suggest that you refer to the references in the description box and go through the book. Also see how it can help you in solving your issues in community. I would also like to thank my professor who introduced me to this topic and the knowledge he transmitted me, and as a result I am able to transmit that knowledge to you guys. So thank you so much and happy learning.